Meanwhile, Colombia's Purace volcano began a new explosive eruption from 4 distinct vents, repeatedly sending plumes of ash more than a kilometer above its summit. And, in what is this week's top story, Fuego eruption pause. Something strange appears to be occurring at Guatemala's Fuego volcano, whose name translates to fire. Normally, it is big news when any one of the vast majority of the world's volcanoes erupt, but this is not the case at Fuego, which has been continuously erupting for a little more than 23 years straight. Its eruptive activity is always explosive, producing stunning strombolian lava fountains, occasional lava flows, and volcanic explosions which have the potential to generate dangerous pyroclastic flows. So, what exactly changed this week at Fuego? Instead of the problem being a strange increase in eruptive activity, the potential problem is that its eruption has completely ceased, without occurring alongside the usual slow but steady decline linked to the true end of a volcanic eruption. This end or pause occurred on January 19, and as of the publishing of this video, it has been a week where no eruptive activity of any kind has occurred. And this is from a volcano that typically erupts every 4 to 20 minutes. While it is true that the Fuego volcano has experienced dozens of pauses during its recent eruption that have lasted from days to weeks, all of these periods only happened after a large paroxysm was observed. And many of these paroxysms, which occurred at a frequency of once every 10 to 60 days, only happened after a fairly large flow was observed. And yet, before this latest pause on January 19 began, there was no paroxysm or lava flow. This has caused some locals to worry that Fuego may soon end its pause and create a major explosive eruption comparable in size to its devastating 2018 eruption. While such a scenario is theoretically possible, to me it really does look like the magma supply to Fuego has decreased lately, meaning more magma has erupted than intrudes into its pre-existing magma chambers. Thus, I suggest that this pause most likely represents a true end to its eruption, or that a several-week pause is to be expected, followed by a resumption of weaker eruptive activity. However, the truth is we do not know what will happen next, and for all we know a plug could have formed and magma and volatiles are now building underneath it. Meanwhile, in Hawaii, this week saw the 5th Kilauea eruption and 6th episodes of activity occur from the Kilauea volcano, which has been sporadically erupting as part of a longer eruption for more than a month now. After a 4-day-long pause, a 5th episode of lava effusion began at the same 2 vents in Kilauea's southwestern summit caldera at 3 p.m. local time on January 22. This episode of effusion was the weakest of the group which have occurred thus far in terms of overall eruptive output, and by 14.5 hours later it ended. A 1.5-day pause then followed, until weak lava effusion returned on January 24. Continuous lava fountaining signaling a 6th episode of lava effusion then began at 11:28 p.m. local time on that day, and the associated 50 to 100-foot high lava fountains continued for the next 13 hours. It is true that lava effusion episodes are getting shorter and weaker in duration, but I still expect more to occur in the upcoming days to weeks. And, in Colombia, the towering Purace volcano Purace eruption 30 kilometers east-southeast of the city of Popayan produced its largest eruption in 48 years. This eruption began just before midnight on January 19, eventually resulting in a large explosion at 12:05 a.m. on January 20. That volcanic explosion generated a 1,500-meter-high eruption column that drifted primarily to the west-northwest, causing more than a centimeter of ash to fall up to 2.8 kilometers away from the erupting vents and for traces of ash to fall on multiple towns up to 33 kilometers away. Additional explosions occurred thereafter, originating from a combination of 4 now strongly degassing vents across a mile-long stretch of ground. While Purace's eruptions are generally quite brief and generally last no longer than 1 week, they do tend to occur in clusters, and Purace has been in one such eruptive period since 2022. List of erupting volcanoes. Here is a quick list of all of the world's volcanoes which are currently erupting. Additionally, here are some volcanoes showing signs of unrest which are not erupting as of the recording of this video on January 25 of 2025. As a final note, I would like to thank my YouTube channel member 1 Amwali Wombat for supporting